So one more thing you should be aware of when working with functions, and this goes not just for JavaScript, but for most modern programming languages. If you create a function and define a variable inside that function using the word var, that variable is only available inside that function. This is because of something called variable scope, and every variable has a scope, and that simply means where is this variable visible? Who can see it? Who can use it? So let's say we define this simple function and then we call it. What's going to happen is we'll jump into the function, we'll create the variable, and we'll pop up the alert box with the contents of that variable, which is 500. Control returns to right after we called it, and if I try and pop up the contents of x again, this will be regarded as undefined. It will say, I don't know what x means because the x variable is not available outside simple function. This is because variables declared inside the functions are referred to as local variables. They have local scope. They're only available within the opening and closing curly braces of that function. If I need to have the contents of this visible outside, I could do a couple of things. One is I could return a value using the return keyword, and we saw that a little earlier. The other way that I could do it is to declare, to create the variable outside the function. So up at the top, I create var x, that's outside all functions, and that's referred to as a global variable. That means we could just use the word x to refer to it anywhere, whether I'm inside a function or outside a function. Now, what I want to be careful of is not using the word var to declare that variable again. So inside simple function, I don't want to say var x, I just want to say x equals 500. So now we could call it inside the function and it would be 500, and then we could call it outside the function and it would be 500 as well. Now in JavaScript, we only worry about scope when we're talking about functions. It doesn't apply to other code blocks like creating variables inside loops or if statements and so on. But with other languages, variable scope can apply on those levels too. So you have to be quite careful about where your variables are defined and who can get to them.